I am Philip Leung, and I am a filmmaker, and I'm Chinese Canadian, and I am pretty attractive. Yeah, I think I would dabble in writing for long periods of my life. Um, I was in journalism for a while. I wrote for Time Out magazine, and I wrote for the South China Morning Post. Um, and but I never thought I could do fictional writing. So on a whim, I thought, why not try to apply it to all the best film schools in the world? And um, and so I would just dedicate a month, and I sat down and I wrote a screenplay about what I thought I was passionate about, which at that time I was fired twice in Hong Kong for not being a good employee. So I wrote about that experience, and surprise, surprise, NYU said without any film background, accepted me into their school. Yeah, I think it's like a job. Why do we wake up in the morning? Um, do you wake up in the morning to sell cigarettes to children? Do you wake up in the morning to sell credit cards to old people? Or do you want to wake up in the morning to write something that you passionately care about and you put all your investment behind? And so I think filmmaking is kind of entrepreneurially the best um, uh, platform to do that. That you create a company and you make something to tell the public what you feel, and it's a lot better than working for somebody else. Can you tell us your name and why you're here?
My name is Edward Fook, and I'm here.
Sorry, can you tell us your real name, please?
Oh, my name is San Dai Fook, and I'm here because I was raised by a single father.
And who's your father?
Oh, okay. I get it. You think I'm some kind of novelty act.
I made two films in the past 2 years. One of them was called My Heritage, which talked about the premise was a Caucasian person is adopted and raised by a Chinese family. And I thought that premise was oddly funny to me because there were a lot of Chinese kids that were adopted and raised by white families. And I thought, why not the opposite? And the more I delved into it, I thought, that's actually my life. I grew up in Hong Kong, but I was raised in Canada. And I started to like all these white people things, like baseball and hockey and Kanye West and Taylor Swift and all that jazz. So, and I just thought, like, yeah, I am kind of Chinese, but when I go home, sorry, but when I'm in public, I feel really white. And I thought this using humor and film is kind of the best way to tell that message. And the response that we had in festivals and things like that was so overwhelming and very flattering, and also it's just fuel for, okay, I could make something else to tell another message. Be The Lonely Monster, which is this 1 minute short film that got into the Toronto Urban Film Festival, and it was pretty much about bullying and also talking about the power of film. The premise was the little girl sees a boy get bullied, and so she makes a film about it, and the bully ends up watching this film and ends up feeling empathy for this kid. And I thought, like, that's what films do. So this next project I'm extremely passionate about. It's called and it's about a young struggling musician who's given 12 hours to write a hit single for the largest record label in the world. And the only problem is the person getting in the way of his creative process is his grandfather, who has dementia. This is very personal to me for two reasons. One, both my grandparents struggled with dementia. What was startling was I never got a chance to say goodbye, and I just thought, whoa, this is not cool. And also, it's very common amongst a lot of people that I spoke to had relatives or loved ones that had dementia. I think the other is kind of the saturation of youth culture, and there's just like so much like, yeah, like young people are awesome, we get to live forever, and it's just like, well, what about the underrepresented people that are not represented by media, the people with dementia, or the young caregivers? We interviewed a lot of caregivers for this film, and a lot of them would say this is, a lot of marketing dollars would go towards cancer, would go towards other diseases, but not a lot would go towards dementia because it's just not as sexy. And also, it's just starting to be kind of talked about in popular culture. And so I thought this is a great way to bring awareness to that issue.